So welcome everybody. It's amazing to have you on. Give me a wave if you can see me all nice and clearly on our Monday mindset here. It's your girl, Nikki Sutherland, and I'm a chairwoman here in the Academy. So today's mindset is entitled Access Denied. And we are going to be looking at a story about a girl which is noted inside the book of Esther, but we're not actually going to talk about Esther today. Now, one of the amazing things that I love about the word is that it can be looked at from loads of different angles. And normally when people look at a book of Esther, you know, who's the star character? Esther, right? The tip or the clue is in the name. But today we're going to look at it from a completely different angle. We're not going to look at it from Esther's point of view. We're actually going to look at it from the point of view of Queen Vashti. We're going to look at it from Queen Vashti's point of view. So I'm going to take it really, really simple. I'm going to give you guys some background, and I'm going to be scatting all over the place because I'm saying this from head, and I'm going to pick out some references as we go, okay? But for those of you that are not familiar with this story, I mean, it's a very, very popular story. A lot of you, excuse me for telling it, I'm sure you know it, but I just wanted, I'm going to give you some background into this story so that we can understand the foundations of what we're talking about here. Is that okay, guys? Do you give me permission to do that? Just put a yes or yes in the chat if that's okay. Okay, so we're going to be talking from the book of Esther. We're going to start in, of course, chapter 1, which is where we normally start. And what we're looking at here is 483 BC. Okay, this is the time that we're looking at, 483 BC. Now, during this time, all right, you know, guys, I absolutely love Nehemiah. You guys know that's my favorite book. And so to put it into perspective, Nehemiah has just finished rebuilding the walls. Okay, you guys know the story. He's just finished rebuilding the walls. And we had, after the big destruction and all of that, but Nehemiah hasn't got back yet. Okay, he hasn't got back yet. And there was this, you have the Persian Empire, who had a war with Greece, and they had lost, right? And the guy that died was the king, Darius, okay? King Darius died, and his son, Xerxes, takes over the empire, right? And this is a time where Xerxes now is the king. He's the big boy. He's the bad man. He is the one now that is running the things, running the empire. And, you know, he's been given all this wealth. He's been given all this, responsibility, the money, everything. And his goal is to avenge the Greek. His goal is to avenge his dad's death by going and having another battle with, with Greece again. But he doesn't want to make the same mistake his dad made. So what he does is he gets his top big bad boy soldiers. And you guys know I like to tell the word in my terms so that it makes sense. Are you guys okay with that? Because I'm not going to be talking thou shalt and thou shalt. I'm going to talk to you in colloquial terms so we all get what's going on here. All right, I like to break it down. Is that cool? Give me a 777. Is that cool? I don't want to offend nobody, but I can only manipulate it in the way that I understand it so that we can have this conversation. So here we have, King Xerxes, and Mr. Xerxes, King Xerxes is like, yo, look, I ain't making the same mistake my dad made. We ain't gonna lose this battle. We're going in hard. He rallies up the top troops, the biggest bad man of the empire. And what he wants to do is he wants to make sure they're in the right mindset. He wants to make sure they understand that he's the new kid on the block. He's the king. And he's like, listen, we're gonna do this for 180 days. You guys are gonna see why I'm the bad man. So what did he do? He was like, listen, we're going to have a party. I'm going to show you my wealth. We're going to have a big banquet. I'm going to get the most, weapons. I'm going to get the money is not an object. And those of you that know anything about the war, that have studied the war, it's usually the one with the most money that wins the war because you can afford the most bullets, the weapons, all of that type of stuff, right? So he wants to make sure that his people are strong. The ones that are fighting are strong, but not just strong physically, strong mentally, that they have confidence to go back. Because you would think, guys, think about it. If you knew that just previously your parents, your fathers fought a war and lost, you are going to want some kind of confidence that you're going to go in with a chance to win because you're going with a loser. How many of you, we talk about businessforhome.org, we want to partner with the best. We don't want to partner with the worst. We want to make sure we're partnering with the best. And feel free to keep talking to me so I know that you guys are following what I'm saying, right? And you're going to have to pick the lessons from what I'm saying, because I'm going to be teaching more so than pulling out the points, right? So he's like, listen, I'm going to get the big bad boys over. I'm going to put the confidence in them. I'm going to show them my wealth. Back in those days, wealth was a sign of kingship. If you had wealth, you were done. If you had money, if you could provide, if you could give, then you had the thing. So he was like, 180 days, I'm going to show the kingdom all of my wealth. I'm going to show them everything. And the word was saying how the linen was all there. The chairs were gold and silver. Like, I don't even know how comfortable it would have been to sit on gold, but it was gold. They were drinking out of gold goblets. Like, they had all of this. Everything was prestigious. Everything was beautiful. Everything was expensive, wealthy. And he said to them, listen, we're going to have, on top of all of that for the 180 days, there's going to be 7 days, okay? 7 days, we're in chapter 1 of Esther, 7 days where we're going to have a banquet. And in this banquet, you man can eat as much as you like, drink as much as you like. We're going to have a good old party. Now, where the men are on the call, when you know you're calling your man them round, it's going to be a party, right? You're going to have the girls doing what they're doing. They're going to have little, I don't know, I can just imagine the pole dancers back then, right? So he's saying, listen, brothers, calling the man them, I'm going to show you that I'm the top dog around town, and we're going to bring through, and we're going to have 7 days of lavishness, 7 days. And for the first 6 days, everything was going well. Everyone was enjoying, yamming the food. Now, here's the thing. One of the customary things during that time was that when you are eating, okay, or drinking, you would wait on the king, right? You wouldn't just go and eat first. The king would eat, and that was a sign that everybody could eat, right? You would have a drink. Let's say you all get drinks at the same time. But then once the king, if you finished your drink before the king finished his drink, it wasn't customary for you to get another drink until the king finished his and started his second drink, and then would all drink together. It was an honor thing of, you know, waiting for the table to be prepared. You go at the pace of the king. That was an honor thing. But what the king said is, don't worry about none of that. Eat and drink as much as you like. Don't even wait for me. So this is how much he was showing them that he was just going to pour into them over these 7 days. And it was going so well, guys. Everyone was hyped. Everyone was like, yo, this is it. This is really good. This is amazing. Like, yo, this is mad. I bet the chicken, even though I don't eat chicken no more, I have a confession, guys. I ate bacon the other day. Oh my God, toasted, we were out, and that thing had bacon in it. I didn't even know. I was there with my pescatarian pieces of food, and all of a sudden you can get caught up. You could be in the crowd, right? You see when you're hanging around the wrong people. I was with Toasted, I was with Lisa, and we were sitting there. I ordered pescatarian scallops, and it came with bacon on. I was so hungry, I did not even realize. Confession is good for the soul. Come on now. So my pescatarian journey started again like 3 days ago. It's good, I'm not gonna lie, right? But anyway, we digress. So here we are now on the 7th day, just before, you know, the banquet is due to end, for them to prepare to go out and have this war. And, you know, they're so drunk, and the king now gets another idea on how to display his wealth. And he decides to call his queen, his wife, Queen Vashti, to come and put on a show, as you'd call it, for the man then. Right? He's like, come, you know, come over here, come show yourself, show them, you know, that you look good, show them that, you know, he wanted to show her off, because remember, the king is all about showing off his wealth. That was a sign of his strength. That was a sign of his kingdomhood, that he was going to show off this woman, his wife, right? Now, in them days, a woman had to obey her husband. It was not like these, you know, women empowerment days where women now are saying no and answering back. Wait a minute. Them days, you know, here's the protocol. And we can look at it even now, guys, with, you know, royalty. There are certain sacrifices that you have to make as a royal when you are in the kingdom. You cannot live like everybody else, right? because you're going to be in receipt of all of that wealth, all of that prestige, there's some honor, you have a different level, and there are different rules and regulations that you must adhere to when you are in a certain position of authority. So you can't do what everybody else does. You can't behave as everybody else does, because your behavior is a representation, an example of how everybody else behaves. You guys following me? So when you're in a position of authority, when you're in a position where people are looking up to you to emulate you, you have to make sure that you fulfill, the duties of what it is that you're supposed to fulfill. So at the time, regardless whether we agree with it or not, a woman should listen to her husband. It's protocol to listen to your husband. Now, at the time as well, a woman should never unveil herself only unto her husband. You should not take it off your head only unto your husband. But she did. She said no, she's not going to do it. Now, can you imagine the king is there in front of his boys? He's there in front of his boys like, guys, look what's coming. My woman is coming. Listen, she off the chain. She got the perfect figure, bottom cock up, titty up, right, and all this. You're going to see her. And listen, she's all mine. You can't even touch, but what? She's coming through. So he sends one of the servant man them to go get her. And she's like, no, they're all drunk. I'm not going in there. Hell no. She must have been some women empowerment. She forgot it was 483 BC. She must have thought it was 2020 or something. She's manifesting TikTok, right? So she's now like, hell no, I ain't going. Ain't no one doing it. She's breaking policy. She's breaking the rules. She's like, listen, I'm not going to follow those rules. I'm not going. Now, here's the thing. The disrespect didn't happen in private. It happened in public. So when there's a public disrespect, it lays the responsibility on the king to now answer publicly. If the disrespect had happened behind closed doors and nobody knew about it, he could have just went, listen, wifey, between me and you, next time my man them come, next time my boys come, you need to do. But because it was a public display, he now was either going to risk, because remember, the soldiers are going to be like, yo, brother, if you can't even look after your wife, we can't trust you to come war with you. So now he's sitting there like, yo, I got to make a decision. He's saying to his boys, like, what should I do? Like, she disrespect the man. The man's like, yo, if it was me, yeah, and you got to be careful about the people that be like, if it was me, how many? No, mate, this is going to go. I told you I ain't got time for this. We ain't even started the story yet. We haven't got to the part yet. Here's the man them are like, yo, if it was me, I'd get rid of her and get a new wife. I would get rid of her, because guess what's going to happen? Our wives are going to hear that your wife did it, and they're all going to copy, and now we're going to be in problems. So you need to do something, king. You need to do something about the disrespect. How many of you see disrespect and you be like, so what? When there's disrespect, the parents and the husband's looking at the wife's looking at the husband like, are you going to deal with this? Or who's going to deal with the unruly kid? Because if the other kids see them getting away with it, they're going to do it as well. So someone needs to deal with the unruly kid. Someone needs to deal with what's going on here. So here now, we have the situation. The king is looking like an idiot in front of his boys. He has to now make a decision that he's not going to look foolish in front of the man, because now, here's the thing. Under your drunken state, in a state of wanting to show off, in a state of wanting to put your chest up there, in a state of wanting to look like, you're better than the man them and prove a point, you've almost risked the entire empire. You guys catch that? Because by just that 7th day, can you see how one split decision can change 179 days worth of work? One bad decision, because he didn't think his wife was going to say no. He didn't think that she was going to turn him down. One bad decision, all of a sudden, the trajectory changed. The situation changed. He went from the big, bad, wealthy king to almost like, yo, this brother, how are we going to win the war if this man can't even do it with his own wife? So he's like, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to hold her accountable. She's going to have to go, because I ain't going to look foolish in front of my man then. So here's what I'm going to do. You guys know the story. I'm going to send the troops out to get every virgin from outside, and they're going to come inside and they're going to apply to be my wife, and I'm going to pick the prettiest girl that there is, and my wife, she's banished now. Hold up now. Rewind, Nikki. So what happened, guys? Access denied if you don't choose to follow the protocol. Hold up. So when you don't follow the protocol, when you are given access, now here's the thing, guys, access, people think that access is a one-time thing. Access is continuously earned. Access is something that you continuously earn. So you came in and you became queen. When you became queen, you were given access to every part of the castle. You were given provision. You were given authority over so many people. You had a maid. You had people that were in there doing all different types of things, cleaning your foot. And all you had to do was follow the protocol, follow the rules of royalty. How many of you have seen some of the royal family right now going, you know what, we give up the royalty. We don't want to follow the rules. There's consequences when you don't want to follow the rules. You cannot be like the rest of them because you're royalty. The royal jewels are at stake. The house is at stake. So you got to follow the protocol. You got to act with integrity. You got to do things in alignment with the way they're supposed to go, because if you don't, access denied. Now, I haven't even gone to where I want to get to, but I just want to let you know, after chapter 1, we never hear about Queen Vashti again. Queen Vashti gone. No one heard about her. She went from being the most popular. She went from being somebody that everybody was like, oh, girl, she pretty. Oh, girl, she the queen. She the boss. Yes. And within a blink of an eye, ain't nobody see her again. But here's a word. Here's what it is, guys. Here's what it is. It got me thinking about something. It got me thinking about something that really blew my mind today. That what she took for granted, there was thousands of women ready to come into the palace to apply for what she didn't want. There were thousands of women that were ready to come in and apply. Not just apply, hold up, let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go there, let's go there, let's go there, let's go there. Let's go there. Let me find it, right? So I'm gonna flick back. Right? So chapter 2 now. Chapter 2. Boom. Queen Vashti was, they say deposed. Raw. Like, it wasn't even, something like raw. It wasn't even like she had a little chat around the corner. No, you're gone. You failed to follow protocol. You cannot be in the kingdom. You're out, deposed. Someone needs to Google that word and type in the definition of deposed. That's deep. So she was deposed, right? And the royal crown was removed from her head. He wanted the nobles and all other men, right, to gaze on her beauty, but she refused. Okay, she refused. So a man's like, listen, you're out. You've wronged the king. You've wronged him. Now here's what happens next, guys. He tells them that, here what? We are now going to do something. We're going to go get the people then, right, to come and apply to be my wife. Right? So every single virgin is brought to the king, including Esther. Now, for those of you that don't know, Esther was a Jew, guys. Now, back in that time, all the Jews should have been gone back to their land. She shouldn't even been there. She shouldn't even have been there. Oh, someone catch that. When it's your time, it's your time. She shouldn't have been there. You could say she was like an illegal immigrant, hiding. She shouldn't have been there. She was in the wrong land. But now she gets picked. She's going to there to apply, right? What somebody say? Remove from the deposed means to remove from office suddenly and forcefully. Jesus. So you could have been doing something so excellently, but then you remove yourself suddenly because of a failed protocol, because you failed to adhere to the rules. All of a sudden, chapter 2, you are no longer. Nobody sees you. Mighty. Access is continually earned. So here we have it now. Esther, she should not have been there. She's an underdog, an illegal immigrant. Wait for it, guys. And now the king says, every virgin. So obviously she's had to go as well. And not only did she go, right? But the protocol was, you don't see the king until you're ready. What does ready mean? Ready means that you're going to go through 6 months of treatments, beauty treatments, spa, lashes, nails, lipstick, rubbing down your body, making sure your body is just right, smooth and perfect. So when the king sees you, he can see you in all your glory. Hold on a minute. So not only did she get advanced into somewhere where she didn't even qualify for, but now she was getting the best treatment. Isn't it ironic that the treatment that should have been given to Queen Vashti wasn't, and all these strangers were now getting the treatment that the Queen Vashti didn't really appreciate? She didn't appreciate what she had. It was worth risking being what? What's the word? Deposed. I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, there's a season of deposition. There's a season where those that don't follow protocol, those that don't align themselves, will find themselves deposed. And here's the thing. Now, the people that didn't even qualify were now getting the treatment that the one that was deposed was supposed to be getting. Rubbing down with oils for 6 months, lashes, beauty treatments, oils. You guys don't believe me? Read it, guys. It's there. It's there. Beauty treatment, special food. She was fed so beautifully, fed so well. Favor immediately provided for her. She shouldn't even have been there. Now, here's the part that's going to give you a revelation, guys. Here it is. This is the bit. Boom. Now, she speaks to her uncle Mordecai. Now, Esther's parents have passed away. Mordecai looked after her as his own. So her uncle Mordecai is like, whatever you do now, don't tell them who you are. Don't tell them who you are, because if they find out who you are, you ain't going to get a chance. You're not going to get a hope in hell to get on the inside. Now, Esther, unlike Vashti, could have been like, no. I need to be real to myself. And they need to know the real me. They need to know, listen, I'm a Jew. I'm a proud Jew. She could have been disobedient to Mordecai. Can you see the difference? One is disobedient. One is obedient. She probably was like, uncle, you're being a bit sensitive. Uncle, why are you telling me this? Why are you telling me to do something that maybe I don't feel comfortable with? Why are you telling me to hide a part of me? Uncle, I know who I am. I'm pretty, I'm this or that. But Mordecai's saying, if they know who you really are, you won't gain access. Hold up, someone slow me down. Some of you're favoring people on the outside because of what you see on the outside. But if you knew who they were on the inside, you would deny the access. Don't take people for face value, guys. Not everybody is who they say they are from the outside in. Mordecai said, if they knew who you were really deep down, they would not give you access. But she had to humble herself and listen to her uncle. How many of you on this call right now have been told by an older parent, an older person, something that to do or not to do, and you don't want to do it? I'll be honest, guys. When I was younger, I wanted my boyfriend around my house. And my mom wouldn't let me have my boyfriend around my house. And so instead of being obedient, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fly the nest. I'm going to buy my house. When I hit 18, I'm out. How many of you said that? Come confess. When I'm 18, I am out the door. I don't want, why? Because I didn't want to follow protocol. People run away from protocol, guys, because they want to do their own thing. They don't want to align themselves to the rules, so we run away. We don't want to be held accountable. In fact, When I moved out, 3 months later, my house was robbed. My ex-husband was stabbed. I wasn't ready to move out yet. Now, you guys know the story. God makes everything work out for my good. And so if it wasn't for that incident, I wouldn't have had the other properties. Yes, we know that. But I could have prevented. Was it worth it? Was it worth the abuse? Was it worth the manipulation? Was it worth being stolen? Was it worth being mental health issues? Was all of that worth it? If just because I didn't want to follow protocol and I thought my mom was just slowing me down. She wasn't slowing me down. She could see what I couldn't see. I wasn't ready. And so I needed to be covered. I needed to stay in that protection. I needed to listen to my elders, those that have gone before me, because they can direct me. She didn't want no bad for me. She loved me. She's my mom. She pushed me out. She bare me for 9 months. Why would she want bad for me? Why wouldn't I want to listen to her advice? Because, oh, Nikki's a big bad gal. I want to do things by myself. I'm grown. I can have man. I can do this. I want to go out and come in when I want. Because I didn't want to align to protocol, I decided to fly the nest. And guess what happened? My access was denied. Because guess what? After 3 months, guess where I ended back? Me run back on my mother yard when the people then mash up my place. Colloquial. I went back home when my mom, when the people mashed up my house. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And you know what happened to me the other day, guys? Well, it wasn't the other day. It's over a year ago now. And I can be transparent. I'll say this. I was speaking to David, and I came off the call. And I cried. And I said to my husband, I never want to speak to that man again. He made me cry. And Anton sat down, and Anton's very, very good. I love that man. He sat down and he said, well, why? Why did you cry? Why did it touch you so much? And I can be transparent, guys. This is over a year ago, but it hit me today why I cried. I'd never had accountability from a man before. Men had only ever taken from me. So when he was correcting me in love, I misunderstood that. And I was angry at him for telling me the truth that was actually protecting me and making me grow. Some of us, because we're not used to accountability, maybe we didn't get the love from the father, maybe we didn't get the love from the mother, maybe we didn't get the love from where we wanted it. And so when love comes to us in a place of correction, when love comes to us in a way where this man took his time out to call me, to help me, to make me better, it struck a nerve because I wasn't used to correction. I was used to running things. I wasn't used to having mentorship. I wasn't used to that father figure saying, Nikki, you're better than this. You can do this, this, and this. Do it like this. Do it like that. I came off the call. I cried. And I couldn't understand why I cried. I still implemented what he said, but I couldn't understand it. What it was is that I wasn't used to accountability. I wasn't used to someone correcting me in love. Now, some of us have to be careful that we don't hurt or avenge or hate the people that God puts in our life to correct us because they love us. Did he have a hidden agenda to help me? No. Did he have to pick up the phone and help me? No. But think about us parents. When your child is going the wrong way, you correct them. Why do you correct them? You correct them in love because you want the best for them. You don't want the worst for them. And it's easy for us, the child to turn around and say, yo, my mom gets on my nerves, man. She's too strict. But because she's been there before, because she foresees the danger. Mordecai foresaw the danger that Esther could have got into if she revealed who she really was. So he said, keep your mouth shut. Otherwise, you're not going to get in the palace. Otherwise, your access will be denied. So we have to make sure, guys, I want to put the message out there. to make sure that the person or persons that God's put in your presence to correct you in love, that you're not misunderstanding that and feeling like you're under attack. I want you to make sure that you're not pushing away those individuals that God has placed in your life to make you a better person. Some of you need to repent for hurting the people that God has put in your life to help you. Because we've been taught that paradigm, we've got to do everything ourselves. No one can't tell me nothing. I don't know why I'm doing this, but you guys know. You can know when the attitude comes. Ain't nobody tell me nothing. But sometimes we have to, the word says, if we shall just humble ourselves, we shall be exalted. But those that exalt themselves shall be humbled. Oh, are you paying attention to the person that God put in your life to help you? Because what you pay attention to feeds you. I realized, guys, that there were some paradigms that I had to shift. Everyone's coming to attack me. No, Nikki, not everyone's attacking you. But when you're coming from a place where you're used to everyone attacking you, you block the people that love you because you don't recognize it, because it's not normal. And we have to open, we got to release ourselves. We got to drop the chains that's telling us that everyone's against you. Everyone isn't against you. Maybe sometime it's a correction in love that's going to propel you, as we know, to become the next queen or king. Because those of you that know the story know that Esther, not only, here we go now, hold up, guys. I'm going to wrap up here. I'm not going to even go into the next chapter. Let me just tell you this. So Esther goes in. King sees her. King's like, yeah, man, yeah, brown in your body look good, everything nice and fresh, and yeah, man. Yo, everybody else out. This is the one. Esther, my woman. Yeah, man, Esther, come. Now, here's the thing. You see, the king, he didn't say, where did you come from? He didn't ask her about the inside. What was he looking at? Her exterior, her body. You see how the king valued women because it was just the outside. Maybe if he didn't do some questions, maybe they didn't say, oh, so where did you come from, Esther? What part of the world were you born? Who's your parents? Who's your this? He wasn't asking about none of that. Man was just looking on the exterior and saying, yeah, man, I might get body look good and them things. He was looking and getting himself excitable that he forgot to check the inside. It was easy for Esther to get on in the castle. Some of you need to make sure you're checking the heart of the people that you're hanging around. Some of you need to make sure that you don't get gassed over exterior stuff. Yeah, they can drop little jokes, giving you exterior stuff, but the heart. The word says clean hands and pure heart. Do you have clean hands and pure heart? I don't want to roll with no one that's not got clean hands and pure heart. Behind closed doors, deep on the inside, there's nothing there, but on the exterior is. Do you know this? There was a gentleman that committed suicide, and in his suicide note, or when he spoke to his friend, he was somebody that was pouring out to people every single day. He was someone that spoke out, that helped people. When when it was out that he passed away, so many people commented how he even poured into his life. But the last things he said to his friend was this. He said to his best friend, listen, it's not your fault. You've been there for me. That's why I'm calling you, because I don't want you to have any kind of bad thing in your mind. But just remember to check up on the strong people, the ones that are loudest. We have a saying in Jamaica, empty barrel make the most noise. Not everybody that's loud and big is confident and happy. Just because someone is the loudest in the room, it doesn't mean that they're the boldest. It doesn't mean that they're the smartest. It doesn't mean that they're the best. You have to have a discerning spirit in this time to make sure that you're around people that really mean you well. That really, don't assume that the people that say all the right things to you mean you well. To Esther, Mordecai saying, don't reveal yourself could have been like, oh, you want me to be fake? You want me to hide myself? No, the words that come to you in all sweet tongue, they come like a serpent. Look at Adam and Eve. The snake came with sweet tongue. And before they knew it, sin was in the midst. Oh God, where am I going with this? Not every sweet tongue. Have you guys seen the meme? Just because they like my stories doesn't mean they like me. And just because they don't like doesn't mean they're not watching. Don't look at the exterior. Don't expect just a sweet tongue to be sweet. How many of you ladies on the call know that you go out on a date and a man gives you all the sweet talk? If you're not careful, you're in a bed before the night's over because the sweet talk got to you know what I'm talking about. You have to have the solid strength. You have to have the wisdom to not let a sweet tongue make you lose your morals. Sweet tongue make you forget yourself. Honor. Thank God that she went to Mordecai before she made the decision. She went to her uncle and she spoke about it. She didn't go around the corner and sneak and do it. She didn't go around the corner and just say, let me go do it. If she didn't sneak around the corner and go do things behind his back, she would have been dead. Because she didn't have the wisdom to be able to sustain. So sometimes you need to run things by your mentor. Sometimes you need to double check with your people and just be like, is this okay? Is this right? Guys, let me tell you this. I'll tell you this, right? This is years ago. A guy, he came into the team. So amazing, beautiful spirit, man of God. Came in hungry. He was so brilliant. Like he was running his own events, doing his own thing, supporting. Everybody loved this guy. And he was doing so well. So close to chairman. I believe he was like 20 people away from chairman. And then this guy started to hang with another guy who began to give him advice. And I said to the guy, I said, don't do it, bro. Because Mordecai has seen already the guy. I know the guy. I know exactly what the guy is capable of. I know exactly what he's done to people in the past. And I said to the guy, don't do it. The guy put all his team in the guy's chat. The guy was leveraging the guy, saying the guy forgot his mentor, forgot the people that helped him get to where he was supposed to go. That guy. Now he went from 20 people to chairman, 550 people in his team, to 100 people in his team. The guy took all his team, began to sell them other products. Your dishonor will make you be exposed, will expose you. Your dishonor will make you vulnerable. Your honor will protect you and give you access. Your dishonor will make you vulnerable and get your access denied. Check in with your parents. They have wisdom. How many of you love, if your grandparents are still alive or your parents are still alive, to hear the wisdom. One of my grandparents, one of them always has stories. And we can learn so much from those. We must make sure that we don't forget, guys, that the ones that have been placed in our life before us come for a reason. Come because they have the wisdom to be able to. If you don't have someone who can pour into you in the areas that you need, I encourage you to seek it. Maybe it's already there, but you don't see it right now because you're not looking in the right place. But you must be covered. You must have accountability. Accountability, sometimes we're scared of, but accountability advances us. We think accountability slows us down, but accountability advances us. It speeds us up. Shout out to Rob today. Rob is doing an event and he sent a flyer to me. He said, Nikki, this flyer, is it compliant? I said, bro, that word, you need to take that out. That's gonna flag up. He deleted the top part, boom. Guess what it does? Access speeds up your process, because if he'd have put it out, it would have then been taken down. He would have had to go back. That is what accountability is for. It's to speed up your process. You have someone to check in with. It's not checking up, it's checking in. Hey, what do you think of this idea? What do you think of this? Honor. Let me tell you this, guys. Yesterday's leverage isn't today's leverage. I will say that again. That guy was leveraged in a season. We ain't leveraging that guy no more. But if you're not in a place where you're visibly in tune, where you're physically making sure you're accountable, you're going to keep leveraging the old because you don't know what's going on going forward. So you're going to keep saying Queen Vashti. Queen Vashti's been banished. She's been deposed. So you keep on calling Queen Vashti, you hanging around Queen Vashti, when really you don't even realize that, hello, Esther's in the building. Be careful of honoring Queen Vashti when Queen Vashti's been kicked out of the castle. Queen Vashti didn't approve with honor. Queen Vashti wanted to run things in her own way. Queen Vashti thought she could do it all by herself. And all of the gold, all of the jewels were stripped. And it was stripped back just because of one split decision. So let's make sure, guys, that we love ourselves enough to know that we deserve accountability. Don't ever get in a place where you say to yourself, someone's too busy for you. Oh, I don't want to call because I don't want to bother them. Accountability is there for a reason. Dan did an amazing job of a mindset call the other day, and he said accountability, but not just accountability by itself, intervention. He said, Nikki, some of us have been lazy and we need intervention. Some of us have been lazy, and some of you on the call put in the chat, yeah, I've been lazy. It was like a confession season. I've been lazy. And we need intervention. That's accountability, to be able to raise your hands and say, you know what, I need intervention. And it's amazing, you know, that we can have those type of conversations on levels where it's not a judgment thing. It's like, let's go forward. We ain't Lot's wife looking back. We already know what happened to her. If you don't Google it, salt. I think that's where the Jamaicans get it from. Oh my God, boom. When we say you're salt, she turned into a pillar of salt, disappeared, in other words, never to be seen again. All because what? She kept looking back. When the word is, go forth, keep looking forward. I want you to type in the chat, I'm not salt. This is not a salty season for me. I'm going forward. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna keep myself accountable. I'm gonna make sure that none of us are perfect, so we need that accountability. I can't even go into the rest, guys. I hope you got something from today's session, right? Thursday's session, I'm gonna be dropping the message from Jason Brown. We're just sorting out a few more things with the leaders who sent across some amazing suggestions for our Dubai incentive and Dubai trip. If you're coming Dubai, go ahead and put Dubai in the chat. It's going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to be amazing. Okay. And it's so exciting what we got, guys. Did you get value from this? Because this was speaking to me. I really felt this word. It was something that I've been, you know, I've been doing this work. Listen, guys, this is deep. Yesterday's leverage isn't today's leverage. Honor. Accept that I am worthy to be poured into. Accept that there are people that's assigned specifically because of the purpose over my life. There's such a big purpose over my life that God has put people there to pour into me, to correct me, to make sure I'm on the right track, because it's so big. I can't do it by myself. I'm not the big bad gal that I was at 18. I can't do it by myself. I must have accountability. I must be surrounded by a wealth circle. I must be surrounded by like-minded people. I must have mentorship. I must have alignment. I must honor where honor is due. I must make sure that I understand that honor isn't for them. Honor is for me, because honor opens the doors and gives me access. And I deserve access. Someone type in the chat, I deserve access. So as we close this call, we're transitioning from access denied to I deserve access. Each and every one of us, I deserve access. Not what they told me when I was growing up. Not when my dad wasn't there. Not when, you know, the abuse was going on. I deserve access. That means that there is people, there are angels that God has assigned over me to cover me, to help me, to correct me, and to align me. And when that happens, I go into the castle, baby. I go into I'm a queen, I'm a king. I'm living like royalty, gold, silver, oil. I'm drinking out of gold goblets. I'm living the life because I know that's the access that I deserve. And my access is not going to get denied in this season. I'm going to stick to my alignment. I'm going to make sure that I'm covered by the rules. I'm going to do things with integrity. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to steal. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to jump on social media and start attacking people with I don't even understand the situation. I'm going to make sure that I'm humble. If in doubt, ask questions. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. Be kind. I'm going to say nice words to myself. I'm going to say nice words to others. I'm not going to jump to conclusions or assumptions. I deserve access. And that's what I want us to go through into this week, knowing that we deserve access, knowing that whatever we do, whatever we want, as big as the castle, as big as the kingdom, as big as all this gold and all of that stuff, whatever it is that we want, it's on the other end of our honor. So homework this week, I want you to pick up with your mentor. Have an honest conversation with them. Doesn't just have to be about business. Doesn't just have to be about whatever. Have an honest conversation with your mentor. And let them know that you honor them. Let them know that you are ready to go into the new wave, receiving the access that you deserve. Guys, it's amazing to be here. It's amazing to be